Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing good, hope you're keeping safe and well. And in the words of Alan Partridge, hope you're having a really good Tuesday and week wherever you are in the world and whatever you are planning to get up to. On this afternoon show, I'm going to be bringing to you guys your latest and your greatest Tottenham Hotspur transfer rumours, reports and updates that have come out over the last 24 hours. And by God, have there been a lot of transfer rumours, reports and updates that have came out over the last 24 hours. A lot of rumours and updates about a particular player. And that particular player is Leicester City attacking midfielder James Madison. News breaking last night that personal terms have been agreed between Spurs and James Madison. And more breaking news coming out this morning from many reliable journalists that talks are advancing between Leicester City and Tottenham Hotspur for the English attacking midfielder. Big news in the summer transfer window for Tottenham Hotspur. And if you've seen my videos on Madison, you would have seen my comments about getting James Ward-Prowse. I believe you could have went out there and got James Ward-Prowse, not just because he's a cheaper option, because that would make me a hypocrite after everything I've said about David Raya and Vicario, but because I do think you could get him for cheaper and he's a better all-round player. I do believe James Ward-Prowse is a better all-round player than James Madison, and I will stand on that hill and die on that hill if I have to, because I genuinely believe that. But having said that, and also having said in the past that I do believe Madison is overrated, just because I believe he's overrated, it doesn't mean I think he's crap, because he's not. He is a quality footballer. I just don't think he's on the level of De Bruyne and people like that, who I've seen people compare him to in the past. But I do think he is a very good footballer. I think he can slot straight into that attacking midfield position for Tottenham Hotspur. I think he can do a job there. He brings a creative spark and some moments of magic which we need. And yeah, massive move if we do bring him in. But the thing I'm most chuffed about if we do sign Madison is that for once, Tottenham Hotspur would have actually signed the manager's main target, would have actually backed a manager with a player they want most. Last summer, Conte wanted Bastoni most. Spurs weren't willing to pay the money. Few summers beforehand, Jose Mourinho wanted Skriniar most. Spurs weren't willing to pay the money. Few summers before that, Pochettino wanted Dybala most. Spurs weren't willing to pay the money. You can see the pattern here. Tottenham Hotspur have let down manager after manager after manager because they haven't backed them with their main targets. We've been hearing from the beginning of the window that James Madison is Ange Postecoglou's main target. And despite my thoughts on getting Ward-Prowse over Madison, the fact that it looks like we're getting Madison makes me a very happy bunny, because for once, Tottenham Hotspur seem to be actually backing the manager with the main player that they actually want. And James Madison is the main player that Ange Postecoglou wants. So if Big Ange wants him, like I'll say with most transfers, then I'll back Big Ange. I want to back this manager. I want the owners to back this manager. And by the looks of it, they're beginning to. They are beginning to. Don't get me wrong, this deal could go completely tits up like the David Raya deal did, because, you know, personal terms are agreed there. It's weird now, personal terms are agreed. They're the first sort of thing you do. Before it used to be you bid and personal terms are the final thing you do. But it seems to be the first thing you do now. But anyway, with David Raya, personal terms are agreed. The deal looked done. Tottenham Hotspur couldn't settle on a price tag. But it does look like Madison talks are advancing. We didn't hear that talks are advancing with Raya. We're hearing that talks are advancing now with Madison. Personal terms agreed. The deal is on and could be completed this week. Big news. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on James Madison. Would you like him at the club, or would you not and prefer someone else in that position? Comment your thoughts down below. But look, I want to move on to the next piece of news. Harry Kane transfer saga continues. Of course it does. Of course it does. The media love the Harry Kane transfer saga. But look, it is actually concrete news this time, and it's not some made-up fairy tale from the Sun just to get a few clicks and views. But look, news coming out this morning that Bayern Munich are ready to properly pursue, saying it like a French person, pursue Harry Kane in the summer transfer market. Now look, I've said all along I don't think Harry Kane will leave, and I've given my reasons for that. A few summers ago, Harry Kane was pushing to leave, literally not turning up to training sessions, and we still didn't sell him when City were putting in bids worth 100 million. This summer, Harry Kane might want to move, but he's not pushing to move. And when you consider that he pushed to move a few summers ago and Daniel Levy still didn't let him go, you think Daniel Levy's going to sell Harry Kane if he's not even really pushing to leave? I can't see it, and especially when you consider that Bayern Munich are putting in 85 to 90 million bids, I can't see it. And I understand that Kane's got a year left on his contract, which does make a massive difference in this deal. But genuinely, I would prefer to not sell Harry Kane and to keep him for another year and then let him go on a free next summer. And some people might call that stupid, but this guy means so much to us. And without him, this season that's just gone by, we could have been in the relegation battle. People laugh at that. This guy's 30 goals got us 8th when we shouldn't have even been 8th. This guy's an unreal player. And to keep him for another year, I want to keep him for another year. I think he makes a huge impact in that Tottenham Hotspur team. But the fact there's a year left on his contract and we're not going to sell him in January, this looks like the last real chance to get money out of Harry Kane. And that's my slight worry. I do think, okay, if there were years left on his contract, not a chance Daniel Levy sells him. And I still don't think there's a good chance that Levy sells him because of the fact he didn't sell him a few summers ago when Kane was pushing, and Kane's not really pushing this summer. But the fact that there's a year left on his contract and we know how much Daniel Levy likes to save or scrape every penny he possibly can, he could be persuaded. And you've got to keep in mind as well, Bayern Munich have no real money issues. They don't, whatever price tag we put on him, they're willing to splash the cash if it's their main target. And we heard that Madrid were interested, that PSG were interested, and that Man United were interested, but nothing really developed there. Bayern Munich are actually looking to bid. So Bayern Munich are clearly the ones who are most interested. And they're the ones for the last year who have really been sort of trying to get Harry Kane. But look, news coming out this morning from a few reporters that Harry Kane, if he was to leave, Bayern Munich could be his preferred destination. I don't believe that. One, because it's not from the most reliable journalist, and two, I think that if he was going to leave, Man United would be his preferred destination, because we know how much Harry Kane loves records and he wants to break that Premier League record. And look, will it be his last year? Probably. But this is my theory on it. I think Harry Kane stays this year because Daniel Levy won't sell him and he's not pushing for a move. Contract talks will go through the whole of the season, and depending on how Spurs do, that will depend on whether he signs a new contract. But do I think Spurs will sell Kane this summer? Despite how interested Bayern Munich are, you've just got to look at the Manchester City saga and how Spurs didn't even consider selling him there. So look, I don't think Harry Kane leaves this summer. Maybe he's persuaded. But even with a year left on his contract, could Daniel Levy be persuaded? I don't know. But look, a lot to talk about with Harry Kane. We could go on all night talking about Harry Kane, but I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Would you be happy to let Kane go? Would you sell him in our last real opportunity to sell him, or would you keep him for another year, even if it is only another year, because of how quality he is? Comment your thoughts down below. And look, the final piece of news we're going to discuss, we heard a few days ago, Vicario, here we go. Latest we heard is that medical was completed yesterday. Vicario set to be announced this week. That looks done. And look, originally I preferred David Raya. My issue with the deal is that Tottenham Hotspur didn't sign one of their main targets. We looked to be doing it with Madison, but my issue with that deal is Tottenham Hotspur didn't sign one of their main targets and opted for the cheaper option. But I said when I said that I don't have an issue with Vicario. And the more I've read up on this guy, the more good he looks. Those comments from Buffon, you've got to consider Buffon one of the greatest ever Italian goalkeepers. Well, not just Italian, probably the greatest Italian goalkeeper ever, and one of the greatest goalkeepers ever in the history of our sport. But look, Buffon commenting and saying Vicario could be better than me and stuff like that. He don't say that if he's not that good. And I've seen some of the save compilations. Obviously, compilations and highlights can make anyone look good. But look, he's young, he can develop. And I do sort of like Tottenham Hotspur's transfer strategy. We still need to sign players, because we've only sort of signed one in Vicario. But if we had to bring in Madison, if we had to bring in Thfc, and maybe a couple more players, I like this Tottenham Hotspur transfer strategy. Going in for the young players that can develop on long contracts. I like it. I do like it. And one thing we are going to see with Spurs next season, and that we're guaranteed to see, is attacking football. And genuinely, I don't care about trophies next season. For me, if we can get into the Europa League and play good attacking football, that'll be a very successful season, considering how bad the season just gone was. And it looks like we're going to at least get that. It looks like we're going to at least get attacking football. We've got an exciting new attacking manager who looks to be bringing in exciting young players. Yeah, I do like the way this summer transfer window's going. Obviously, it could all go tits up and could all go quiet like last summer did. But I like the way it started. I do like the way it started. And look, long may it continue. Hopefully we can bring in Thfc, but there's no real developments there. That's why I haven't talked about it. Madison, latest on James Madison. Like I say, personal terms agreed, talks advancing. Kane to Bayern Munich. Could it happen? Could it happen? Vicario medical. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on all the news stories. Nevertheless, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for helping me reach 1k, a dream of mine on YouTube. It's truly appreciated. You guys are absolutely wicked. Make sure, if you haven't already, to smash that subscribe button. Give it a Mike Tyson right hook. Hit that like button as well. Take care of yourselves. All the best. God bless. And as always, Comedy Spurs. I only said in Conte we trust. So used to it though. In Big Ange we trust. Enoch and Levy out. Smash that subscribe button and comment your thoughts.